Howdy fellas, I hope your week's going well. My buddy Mike at Appalachia Old Timey Skills, I had to thank him that he changed the name of his channel, suggested I show you guys how I go about putting together one of the knives that I made. Now I know some of you are going to say, well, you're not building a knife, you're just putting a kit together. You're absolutely right. But I don't have the machinery and everything to cut out knives, so the first thing I do is I order whatever I want to build, and this one is something a little different than what I usually build. This is another Green River blade. This is what they call their sheep skinner. It's got a 5-inch blade. It's 9.5 inches overall. Has 3 pins. Now I also ordered a set of premium, in other words fancy curly maple scales. I like to use maple occasionally. I use walnut. Cherry. Walnut's okay, but I'm not a big fan of it on a knife handle. But one of the first things I'll do is I'll degrease this blade with alcohol. And I normally use apple cider vinegar heated up to about a boil. Then put it in a quart mason jar and submerge the knife blade down in it. Let that patina. I know this is a high carbon steel. Over time it is going to patina. But I just like to go ahead and put some age on them. I have used brass black, believe it or not, to age blades before, but it seems that the vinegar works a whole lot better. I'm going to try just white vinegar this time to see what happens. Don't work, I can always get some apple cider vinegar and go at it again. This is a pretty thick blade in the back. It doesn't have a whole lot of a point, so you wouldn't be prone to poke through the hide that you might be skinning, whether it be a sheep, a bear, deer, whatever. But like I said, the first thing I'll do is degrease it and soak that blade. The next thing I do, I look at the curl in my scales, and I do the best that I can to try to line up the direction of that curl from the right scale to the left scale. And in the case of most knives I build, I put the prettiest curl to the right side, because most people's right-handed. Now, if you were left-handed and I knew it, then I would turn it around and put the pretty side on the left-hand side. But I look at that and kind of line it up, kind of judge which side of the scale the curl looks the best on. This one's got some wave in it too, which a lot of that will disappear later on when I go to the stain portion. And of course you're going to need some kind of pins. I use brass pins. These are some that you can get this stuff at your home improvement stores in like 1-foot sections. These I found on Track of the Wolf for they're probably 2 inches long, about 10 of them in a pack for a reasonable price, and that saves me having to do nearly as much cutting and got that big old long 12-inch piece of brass running around. So what I'll do, I'll degrease my blade, heat the vinegar up, and I'll stick it in there, let that soak for 24 hours, and then once we get that done, we'll come back and we'll pick up with what I do next and show you that. I'm not going to show you every little detail of everything I do. In other words, I do the sawing part of it by hand. I'm not going to have you sit here and watch for maybe 30 minutes while I try to saw the rough shape of this knife out with a little hand saw and a coping saw. I'll just show you how I go about it and we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoy this, which will probably be 2, 3, maybe 4 part series on building this. And God bless you. Jake and I appreciate you watching. Keep your powder dry. Mind your top knot building.